Alright, what's up everyone? This is NinjaDeathStrike bringing you another Pokemon TCGO battle. And I'm sorry if the video quality of this one is a little bit off. I had to rip the video off of a stream that I had saved, but it was such a good match that I definitely wanted to back it up. This is one of the best matches I've ever had in TCGO. Probably the best, definitely the most intense. Features two really competitive decks. You're going to get to see one of the best decks in the format right here with my opponent's deck. So going into the game, looks like I have the advantage, but that doesn't always mean a whole lot. So probably check out my opponent's stats here in a second or two, but looks like I'm going to have to mulligan the first turn, so that's not going to be too helpful. There we go. Pull up my opponent's stats. He's only got 52 wins, but he's got a lot of cards, so probably means he's been putting his deck together and now he's getting it underway. And I'm going to have to mulligan, pick up a new hand, and this time at least I get a couple basics. I get a T-Pig and a Reshiram, so since I don't have Cleffa or any access to Cleffa, I'm going to go ahead and put Reshiram into the starting position just because I don't want T-Pig to get knocked out too early. Hopefully I'll be able to get him into an N-Boar pretty quickly. So I lose the coin toss, and then I see Zekrom get flipped over. So this is a Zekrom deck, and this is a fully complete Zekrom deck, I think. So luckily, he's not able to get the turn one attack off. For those of you who don't know how this Zekrom deck works, basically the idea is to do either 80 damage with Tornadus or 120 damage with Zekrom on turn one, and it's a really, really great deck. So fast and really strong. A lot of decks have a hard time keeping up with it, and if you don't get off to a good start, it's probably going to beat you. So very luckily for me, it doesn't look like my opponent can do anything on the first turn, and on the second turn I see he is not able to do anything there either, but unfortunately I'm not drawing anything either. Just have a bunch of garbage in my hand, nothing that's going to be able to help me. And by turn 3, Zekrom's fully charged, nails me with a Bolt Strike, and so I'm in a bit of trouble. Luckily, I top deck a Collector, so that is going to give me a chance here to at least not lose on the next turn. I'm going to be able to pull up some basics. I decide to get another T-Pig, and then a Reshiram and a Cleffa, and my plan here is to Eek. I have to get out of this hand because it's just dead weight at this point. So I use that energy retrieval as an emergency measure to get the energy I need to put onto T-Pig. And as you can see, oh, wow. Nope, I guess I'm going to put that energy onto Reshiram. And then I play the switch to get to Cleffa. All right. But as you can see, I've switched out those other T-Pigs for the one with 1 retreat cost, so I would have been able to retreat if I wanted to, but instead I play the switch, get an Eek, and don't draw into a whole lot. It does look better than my last hand, but still no Emboar, and I really need to get an Emboar up here, otherwise all my T-Pigs are just going to get catchered out and destroyed. So we see plus power here, and then a catcher, just like I feared. That means that something's going to die. He could choose to take out a T-Pig, but instead he's going to target my Reshiram, which is not a bad decision on his part. That is where my energy is, so it's going to let him take out the Reshiram. Since he played plus power this turn, he'll be able to hit me for 130, and now he uses Shaman to move an energy over to his other Reshiram. He's going to move 2 energy on there, and I think maybe he's got another plus power. I can't see how much damage that Zekrom's at. It looks like it's at 90 right now. Oh, he's going to go for a super scoop up, and that works. I'm sorry the video is skipping around a lot here. Like I said, I had to take this from a stream, so the quality is really skippy, but what happened was he used a super scoop up. Luckily for him, or no, I guess he failed. He switched in, got his other Zekrom up, and now he's got the energy to take me out with a Bolt Strike. So my Reshiram goes down, don't have any attackers on the field, and Zekrom's going to be able to OHKO everything I do have. But luckily I play that Sharon, draw into some very helpful cards. I'm going to play one of the Pig Knights down. Pecom the other way for an Emboar, and since I have the rare candy in my hand, I'll be able to go ahead and evolve my second T-Pig into Emboar ability this turn, or the good Emboar. So that is really helpful. It also means I'm going to be able to play my fire energies down if I want to, but it looks like, okay, there, good, I remembered. So I go ahead and put down both of my fire energies onto Pig Knight, and now I'm going to eke again, hopefully get another hand that's going to allow me to do something. And hopefully I won't get catchered up and killed again this turn, but that's always a possibility. So you can see here, draw into a Vulpix and a Ninetales, so that'll be nice, assuming Vulpix isn't dead by the next turn. And now my opponent puts down a Magnemite, so it looks like he runs a tech line of Magnezone Prime in here, which is not a bad idea since it allows him to take KOs on things he normally wouldn't be able to, like Gothitelle or Suicune. Not Suicune Anti-Legend, it's weak to lightning, I think. Anyhow, it allows him to hit for big numbers if he needs to, especially against Trainer Lock decks. So, unfortunately for me, Cleffa wakes up, gets taken out by an Outrage, so now I have to go into Pig Knight. It's my only option here, and I have that Reshiram in my hand. I also have a Pokemon Collector, so I believe what I'm going to do here is put down the Reshiram. And I think, let's see, I've got a couple options. I could Junk Arm for a Pokemon Communication and guarantee myself another Emboar, or I could play down that Ninetales, use Roast Reveal, and hope that I draw into an Emboar that way. I could also use Pokemon Collector and then Junk Arm, toss away a couple of those to get the Pecom back and get to my Emboar that way, but what I need to do here is I have to be able to attack this turn. If I can't attack this turn, I'm going to be in a pretty bad situation. So no matter what I decide to do, I have to take a prize this turn, or I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. So what I decide to do is go ahead and Junk Arm. I guess I'm going to throw away Pokemon Collector and the Fire Energy. And I believe I'm going to get my Switch. And so now that I have the Switch, I'll be able to get Pig Knight out of there, and I can send out Reshiram, which means I'll be able to attack the turn. Since I didn't play a supporter, I can go ahead and use Fisherman, draw into energy, but I make a big mistake here. I thought that I had at least 3 energy into the discard pile, but I do not. I only have 2, and that means I'm not going to get an attack off this turn. So once again, the options for what I can do are very limited. I could Outrage for 20 if I put both of those energies onto Reshiram, or I could put them on Pig Knight and hope I can get an Emboar next turn. I decide that Outrage really is going to be pretty pointless at this point. It's not going to do anything helpful, so you can see there he has another plus power. That means that Reshiram is just going to be killed this turn, and if I had chosen to Outrage, Zekrom would still be alive, and I would be down 2 fire energy. So it turns out hanging on to those fire energies were the correct play. Now, thankfully, I will be able to evolve into Ninetales. I'm going to go ahead and Roast Reveal here, discard a fire energy, and see what I draw into. And awesome, I am able to draw into my other Emboar, so I can evolve my Pig Knight into Bad Boar. And I've still got some options. I have the ability to attach a fire energy. I also have the energy search, which is nice. It means I'll be able to pull up a second fire energy. And that means that I'll be able to Flare Blitz this turn if I want to. But looking at the Zekrom that's active, it has 100 damage on it, I think, right now. So I don't need to Flare Blitz this turn. All I need to do is go for the Heat Crush, and that's going to be enough to take it out. So I actually didn't need to play this Energy Search this turn. This is, again, another misplay by me. This is a while ago. I wasn't playing this deck quite as well as I should have been, but I guess I'm going to go ahead and use Inferno Fandango to attach that 4th energy, and now I'm going to Professor Oak. I guess my thought process here was there's a chance I could draw into a catcher with Oak, and then I could Flare Blitz something else for 150, but turns out I'm not going to need to do that, and now I'm going to attach a double colorless energy too, so geez, kind of got all my eggs in one basket here with the Emboar, but go ahead and use Heat Crash. Don't want to discard the energy yet, and I take my first prize. So even though my opponent has taken 4 prizes, I finally managed to take my first one, but I'm still a long way from victory. Basically, I'm 2 catchers away from a loss, especially with Ninetales down. If he has another catcher, he's going to be able to hit Ninetales and take his last prize. So I need to be very, very careful about what I put on the bench at this point. I cannot afford to give him any more easy prizes. You see there, he rare candies into his Magnezone, so now he's got draw support too, and this is not looking like a good situation for me. The one saving grace I have right now is it looks like he doesn't have a whole lot of energy in play, and so that could give me a chance. But now he's going to Junk Arm, tosses a Zekrom, or not Zekrom, a Zoroark, and a Lightning Energy into the discard pile. I think that's a pretty questionable play. Not the Zoroark, but tossing energy in such an energy-intensive deck like a Zekrom deck is kind of a risky play. But you see there, he did pull up that catcher, so he's going to be able to play it down, and he can choose to either knock out my Ninetales or pull up my Emboar, which has that 4 retreat cost. That's going to force me into a switch. Luckily for me, I already have that switch in my hand, so I'm able to go ahead and play it down and escape from the active spot. I did take 100 damage, but thanks to Emboar's beefy 150 hit points, it's not enough to take me out. And I'm looking at his health here. He's got 80 damage, so I am going to have to Flare Blitz if I want to knock him out. First, though, I'm going to Roast Reveal, and now that my Emboar has been damaged so heavily, it's not going to matter if I put down more basics on my bench or not, since anything is in KO range of a catcher, so it doesn't matter if it's a basic or not. He's going to be able to kill whatever he wants. That Roast Reveal doesn't get me a whole lot of energy, or a whole lot of useful cards. I'm looking for another T-Pig at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and play Professor Oak instead, get a new hand, and here I do get a T-Pig, which is nice. I've also got both Emboars, so I can go into either one if I need to, and I'm going to hit him with a Heat Crash, so I guess, yep, 50 is going to be enough to take him out. I draw my second prize, so now I'm only down 2 to 4, still in a lot of trouble, a long way to go though. I get my 4th T-Pig there with the prize, and that's actually going to be really helpful since I have both Emboars in my hand. I can play down both of them and maybe get them evolved into Emboars here, especially since my ability Emboar has so much damage. If he gets hit by another attack, he's going to be knocked out, and that's going to remove my energy acceleration. So right now, I really would like to get 2 more Emboars down if it's possible. So my opponent goes into Tornadus, since it has the low retreat cost and the ability to maybe just stall for a turn. He puts down a Pachirisu, which is going to let him attach some free lightning energies, so he puts 2 energies down on that. But now that his bench is full, the only way he's going to be able to get those energies off of Pachi is if he is able to pick up his Shaman with either a Super Scoop Up or a Seeker. So he's going to use Magnetic Draw now with Magnezone, probably looking for either of those cards, but he doesn't get them, and that means that Tornadus is stuck active, and I'm going to get another prize this turn. So now I'm going to Roast Reveal again, looking for a Junk Arm or a Rare Candy. Either one would allow me to get into an Emboar this turn. I don't get either of those, but I do get a Sharon, so that's going to give me one more chance for it, and you see over there on the left, I get my Rare Candy. So now I have to decide which Emboar I want to go with, since I can only get 1 this turn, and I would actually like to have 2. I decide to go for another Bad Boar, since I figure I can put down that double colorless energy on him, put down the fire energy using Inferno Fandango, and that'll allow him to attack even if my ability Emboar gets knocked out. He'll still have enough energy where he won't need the acceleration exactly next turn, and you can see my hand, I have Pignite and the other Emboar, so I will eventually be able to get there. Now I'm going to play my catcher. I decide to target his Magnezone for Two reasons. The first one being it's the only thing on his side of the field that has the power to one-hit KO me. And the second being it's also his draw power. So with that one move, I've effectively cut off his draw power and taken out his only chance to get a prize this turn. So now we see the Seeker come down. He must have top decked it. That's going to allow him to pick Shaman up, and I'm actually, I think, going to choose to pick up my ability boar this turn. Like I said before, I didn't actually need the ability the next turn. I can afford to wait one more turn, so I could have picked it up. I guess instead I decided to pick up Ninetales just in case I needed the... Oh, now I am going to need it. I apologize. I am going to need it this next turn since I had to use Flare Blitz and get rid of all my fire energies. So I do, in fact, need the Embor this turn, so I'm not able to pick it up. Instead, I decide to go for the Ninetales just because I don't need to Roast Reveal any further. My deck is getting pretty low, and I don't want to deck out. So having him picked up won't be a big deal. Now my opponent sends out his Zekrom. He's able to move all the energies to it thanks to Shaman. And he's going to Pecom, trade out his Zekrom for another Magnemite. So it looks like he's going to try to get another Magnezone up. And we'll have to see if I'm able to stop that or not. But you'll notice he hasn't taken a prize for 3 or 4 turns, which is really the strength of this Embor deck. These big, bulky attackers are very hard to one-hit KO. And so even though I got knocked down in the early run, I'm doing okay now since he's not able, again, to take a prize this turn. And since I have the Fisherman, I am going to be able to get my energy back, and that's going to allow me to use Flare Blitz for 150 damage and take another prize. So even though I got off to a very slow start, I was in danger of losing for the entire first half of this match. It looks like I might possibly have a chance to come back. I'm still not out of the woods. I've got that damaged Embor on my bench. I'm only a couple of catchers away from a loss. Playing down that Vulpix again was actually a mistake. I should not have done that. I should have left it off of the bench since I'll be able to get to Embor again next turn. It would have meant that he would not be able to take me out with a catcher and a junk arm. But I did play it down again. Another misplay on my part. But I go ahead, Fisherman for the energy, put 2 of them onto Embor, and knock out Zekrom. So now I'm in a pretty good spot. You can see on my opponent's board there's no energy. I've taken out the energy on his side of the field. That is the biggest weakness of Zekrom decks. They hit like a truck at the beginning of the match, but if you can just survive that initial onslaught and target their energy, you do have a chance to win. But that's what you have to do, you know. If you play the match wrong, you're going to be out. You have to go after their energy whenever possible, and you have to make sure that you get the KOs to remove it. So that was my plan, and you can see it has actually paid off here. I see that he's got a Magnezone in his... that he Pecoms for his Magneton. He does have another Magnezone, so there's a possibility I'm going to have to deal with that. I decide to Roast Reveal here to see what I draw into. If I get into a Junk Arm, I could be able to Junk Arm for a catcher and take out that Magneton before it gets to be Magnezone, but I don't draw one here, so instead going to attach a double colorless energy onto one of my Embors just in case I need to retreat him later. I already have a DCE on both of my attacking Embors, so it made sense to put it onto the other one now. Excuse me. And I looks like I Roast Revealed there. Oh no, I played a Twins. Sorry, the screen's lagging up. So anyhow, I'm using Inferno Fandango now. I'm not sure what happened with that Twins. I drew it. Okay, I guess I drew into it using Roast Reveal. The screen kind of froze there for a second. I wasn't sure what happened, but now I'm going to use Inferno Fandango. Go ahead and attach 2 more energies to my active Embor, and then attack this Tornadus for my 5th prize. So it looks like I might be able to actually take the lead for the very first time in this entire match here. and let's see what I do. Looks like the screen's frozen again. Yep, sorry you missed the attack, but that's what happened. The screen froze again. As I said, had to rip this from the stream, so sorry it's so laggy. But I used Flare Blitz there, took out his Tornadus, and drew my 5th prize. So now Magnezone comes in. It does have 2 energy. That means that it's going to be able to attack this turn. He uses Interviewer's Questions. I see that he gets a bunch more energy, which is not great for me. But it is not going to matter here since he has 2 prizes left. And he can only kill 1 Emboar. I have both of my Emboars evolved. I have 2 of my ability Emboars, so no matter what he does, I am going to have energy acceleration and the ability to take him out with a Flare Blitz next turn. Magnezone only has 140 hit points, so he decides to just Lost Burn on active for 1 energy, take it out, but as I said before, it doesn't matter since I have the second one already evolved with the DCE. I can just go ahead and use Inferno Fandango here, attach 2 fire energies, and Flare Blitz for the win. So that was a really, really intense match. My shaking kind of the whole time. Every time I see that I'm facing a Zekrom deck, I just groan. I hate fighting them so much. They're so good, and they get going so fast. Like, they're really disruptive and powerful at the beginning. A lot of times they'll take you out before you have a chance to do anything, but luckily this time I was able to weather the storm. I had those nice big bulky attackers that could take a few hits, allow me to survive just long enough to get my game plan going, and then eventually come back for the win. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is actually the last match I have saved. I haven't recorded anymore since Noble Victories is releasing tomorrow. I'm going to be picking up some booster packs for there. I have some deck ideas for that expansion, and I might be trying out some Noble Victory themed decks here next week, so stay tuned for those. I also have a Wi-Fi battle coming this weekend, assuming my hard drive does not die again, which hopefully it won't. So more good stuff coming your way shortly. Thanks, guys.